we have talked about it before, but we didn't know what it was going to be. It was very early stages of this upcoming smartphone. And all we knew was that it was going to be made, or at least there was going to be some sort of a collab between the popular app TikTok and their parent company, ByteDance. Mm-hmm. Wait, how about that name? ByteDance. But bite like a bite, like a kilobyte. Right?
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
I'm cool with it.
Okay, so they got an app. They got a popular app.
Yeah.
TikTok. I'm not on it.
No.
I know very little about. I mean, obviously, I've seen
the content.
Obviously, I know what TikTok is. It's the fast-paced, the youngsters. It's a lot of. It's kind of like Musical.ly. Remember that Musical.ly stuff?
It actually was Musical.ly.
Oh, was it?
It turned into TikTok.
Are you sure about that?
That's why it has a...
Are you sure about all this?
Yes.
Are you spreading false information once again across the internet and across the globe?
No, it's for real.
All right. Well, anyway, TikTok bot music, whatever. It's a whole thing, yeah. But it's that kind of stuff. And the youngsters are really into it. So much so that they put a bunch of dollars into the pocket of the parent company, ByteDance, so ByteDance could go and acquire a smartphone manufacturer by the name of Smartisan. And what they put together is possibly my favorite name ever for a smartphone. What we're looking at today is the Smartisan Nut Pro 3. And it got a reaction from Kirk. Jesus. So as you can tell, it's an effective name for a smartphone. That's right. Just to repeat. Actually, Will, maybe you can repeat it for us. Just the brand name there, or the model name of the device.
I can't see it. Where is it?
Well, you see, that's your first problem right there. Okay, Will, you got to see it first. It is, I'll repeat one more time, the Smartisan Nut Pro 3. So you can go ahead and order up your very own Nut Pro.
There's I think there might be a Cantonese name.
Oh, you going Cantonese on us right now, Will?
Jian Guao.
Does that mean nut in Cantonese? Because it says Jian Guao Pro 3.
Not in Cantonese, no. It might be in Mandarin.
I'm sure it would be Mandarin.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it? If you were ByteDance.
Yeah.
So anyway, point being, we're going to get a translation in 5 seconds down in the comments. But it's one of those loose ones where we end up with in English at least, it means nut.
I mean, it
translates to nut. Okay, that's exactly a beautiful highlight right there. In Mandarin. Did I think we were going to be talking about nuts today? Smartphones by the name of Nut Pros? No, I didn't. But Apple's got the iPhone 11 Pro. So why shouldn't there be a Nut Pro?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Never mind the Nut Pro, but it's the Nut Pro 3. And the weird thing is, it's TikTok or at least ByteDance's first foray into smartphones. Why are we on 3? Okay, so maybe Smartisan was, this is what I presume. Smartisan was already in this line of thinking. They had something similar to this. And there were a couple versions of it. And then ByteDance bought them. And was like, keep doing what you're doing. We just want to mod it, tweak it ever so slightly. And maybe that's how we end up with the Nut Pro 3. The cool thing about it is it actually sounds kind of interesting when you look at the spec sheet, which is not something I expected. When you're putting together the various elements that come to make this particular device, you're talking about the TikTok user base, for the TikTok user base. You're not really sure what they might want to put together in a smartphone to meet those young people's criteria. But it looks to me like they pretty much put together something that should be compelling for a number of people, not just users of TikTok. And that's probably a good idea. It's either that or they just didn't modify very much. And maybe they're planning that for the next release because it is a relatively recent acquisition. But the coolest part is a focus on the camera. There's actually 4 cameras on the back of the phone, which, as you know, premium flagship smartphones 2019 standard is a triple camera array on the back, maybe one of those depth sensors. We're talking about 4 real cameras on the back of the Nut Pro. four real cameras, a 48 megapixel main camera, a 13 megapixel ultra wide snapper, which has instantaneous distortion correction for the ultra wide, an 8 megapixel telephoto for zooms, and a 5 megapixel macro camera. We just ordered a macro lens for Kirk. He's having fun shooting photos. And this one has it built in. Now, I've looked at macro adapters in the past that clip onto smartphones. People are into those. But to have it built in, it's more, there's a convenience factor there, and maybe more people are getting into the macro photography. I don't see that tech rolling out in mainstream flagships anytime soon. But so what? Throw it in there. Your ByteDance. You got TikTok. You got the Nut Pro.
Why not?
Yeah, throw it in there. On the front, there's a 20 megapixel selfie camera, which I guess your average TikTok user is interested in that. Rounding out the specs, AMOLED display, 6.39 inch, full HD plus, Snapdragon 855 plus, 8 or 12 gigs of RAM, 4,000 milliamp hour battery. I don't know about you, Will, but that's 2019. That ain't terrible.
No.
So, and also it's around $400. So here was a thing where I was assuming when I read the name, when you heard about the acquisition, when you heard about the company responsible for putting this out, I thought the whole thing was going to be a laugh. I thought the whole thing was going to be a joke. I thought you and I were going to sit here ranting and raving as we would. But instead, we're looking at a spec sheet, and we've determined they did all right with this Nut Pro.
Yes. Everything except for the name, I would say.
But maybe not.
Yeah.
You're not going to forget
a
it.
viral thing, yeah.
I'm not going to forget it.
Yeah.
The people watching this, otherwise, if it was, imagine it was the SM9000-HQ.
Forgettable.
That's what Sony does. I still to this day, as much as I love various headphones in their noise canceling lineup, to this day I'm still saying, yeah, what about the Sony product? The top of the line Sony product is what I end up saying. Just because they got to go ahead with XBR, FQ, Z.
The ABC 1000.
Man, I remember even back in the day, I was trying to upgrade TVs. It would be like the XBR is the one you want. Who knows the one you? Only the people in the know would ever know. Mm-hmm. So it was, there's something nostalgic about that, though. Those cyborg-ish product names.
Yeah. Like a serial to it.
I don't know what it is.
Like the newest one is like a Dash R10.
That's what it is.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
The new one.
Yeah.
Dash R10.
Yeah. So, but anyway, not in this case. In 2019, it's so noisy out there in the product world, you got to break through. You got to come with the innovative naming. And I believe they've done that in this case because they got
It's not a bad looking phone either. It reminds me of the Essential phone.
Yeah, it's so simple.
Yeah.
It looks like even though it has 4 camera units, they look to be flush with the back of the device, which is kind of cool. It's also got this nice green tone to it, which I know you will with the nature and so forth.
Oh, yeah.
It's got a nature tone. Anyway, exciting times. More smartphone players. Everyone wants to get into the hardware game, even those making social media apps like TikTok. In fact, in a upcoming report here, in the next story, in an upcoming report, in the next